Yo, what's going on, everyone? How's everyone doing? Hope you're good. You know what? I thought I'll come on this live today and talk about all the transfer rumors with Arsenal. I've been wanting to do it for a while. Welcome to my show. I'm Manny, aka Mr. Gooner. I'm streaming also basically in two places at the same time. So wherever you're joining, give me a shout, leave a comment and all that good stuff. So I'm currently streaming on YouTube and also on Instagram as well. So yeah, if just give me a shout wherever it is that you're watching, let me know and all that good stuff. So yeah, I hope you guys are cool. So what is going on? Give me a shout. Let me know where you guys are at. Put it in the comments and all that good stuff. Just making sure that we're good. Also on Instagram and also on in both places. So give me a shout. Let me know if you can see me, if you guys can hear me and all that stuff. So seems like Instagram is working. Yeah. Seems like Instagram is working. So Instagram, yep, we're definitely live on Instagram. Just making sure we're also live on YouTube as well. Okay. So seems like things are a bit slow out here. How's it going, people? How's it going? How's it going? Okay. Slightly a bit delayed on Instagram. Or should I say on slightly delayed on YouTube at the moment, but we're good, we're good. But yeah, basically I'm going to be talking a lot about the Arsenal transfers and stuff like that. I've got a few things I basically want to go over at the moment. There's been a lot of speculations when it comes to Arsenal transfers and all that stuff. I just thought I'll share my 2 cents on it. As I said, give me a shout out. Let me know if you guys are of where you're watching from. Definitely live at the moment. You can either be watching it on Instagram or you can be watching it on the full video on YouTube at the moment. So yeah, let's basically start with the transfer rumors surrounding Arsenal at the moment. So let's see where we start. Where do we start from, guys? Where do we start? There's been a lot of speculation, and let's be honest, it's quite obvious what we need in regards to this current transfer window. It seems like everyone seems to know a lot more than Arsenal at the moment. As well, guys, listen, if you are new around here, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button as well. It goes a long way in helping me. It's free. It is free. So just press the subscribe button. On this channel, obviously, let me just go back a little bit. I did fall off a bit last season, obviously due to personal life stuff, moving house and all that stuff. But yeah, I'm back. Hopefully, we've moved house now. Still sort of stuff out. That's why you can see all my kids' stuff there. But listen, don't worry about the background. Focus on me. As I said, I'm back now. So hopefully, this new coming season, I'm gonna be a bit more active. As you guys can see, I'm gonna be going live a little bit more. I'm gonna be doing a lot more live. I'm gonna be doing watch alongs a lot, as well as my videos on TikTok, on Instagram, on YouTube, and all that good stuff. So make sure that you like, follow, subscribe, and all that good stuff. That would go a long way in supporting my channel grow. Like I said, it is free. I'm not forcing anybody to subscribe, but as I said, it will go a long way in helping me grow. So yeah, if you're new around here, welcome. My name is Manny, aka Mr. Gooner. I'm an Arsenal fan. I think that's kind of like obvious. That's probably the reason why you clicked on this video. So let's get straight into the transfer rumors, or the transfer rumors surrounding Arsenal at the moment. So the striking situation. So where are we at with the striker situation? So it's actually come out this morning, obviously, with Gyokeres. I think at the moment it's looking like we're going to be going with Gyokeres. So yeah, we're still connected and still linked with Gyokeres. Everybody knows that we need a striker. So we're still linked with Gyokeres, and we're still also linked with Benjamin Sesko. I've always said I prefer Gyokeres out of the two, but at the time, I think people kept saying there's been a lot of reports to suggest that Arsenal were more inclined to go with Sesko, but there's been a lot of speculations in the last few days or week or so in regards to Sesko's demand that is a bit too high for Arsenal on this. So they're still negotiating in the background. Apparently, there was a rumor to suggest that Sesko and his agent was demanding that Arsenal were to put a release clause in his contract at Arsenal, which, let's be honest, hardly any Premier League team does that. There are some Premier League teams that have done that in the past. Don't get me wrong. I think Bournemouth did that with Oyston that just went to Real Madrid. Obviously, they triggered that release clause. I think there's a release clause with Eze at Crystal Palace, for example. But it's rare. It's quite rare that you know, a lot of Premier League teams actually put release clauses in players. So it's basically suggesting that Sesko, obviously, that we're linked with, he's requesting that we put a release clause, which then begs the question: is it a case of like, so you want us to put a release clause in your contract? Basically, you're coming into a new club, but then it's like you got one eye on another club in like maybe in the next 4 years, because I don't know, because he's what, 22, 23, give or take. So if you say about, you start Arsenal like 4 or 5 years, so it's taking you to like 27, 28, and that's kind of like where you hit your peak, and then you're probably looking or holding out for a team, let's say like a Real Madrid, for example. So it's like, what exactly are you, why would you want a release clause on your contract when you haven't even stepped into the club yet? Why would you demand such a thing that you want a release clause? But yeah, listen, there was a report in regards to when it comes to Benjamin Sesko this morning. So I'm just going to show it to you guys now with Fabrizio Romano. I'm just going to share that on my screen. This is one of my new things, guys. Come on, we're leveling up here. We're leveling up. So just bear with me, yeah? And here we go. Listen, Benjamin Not Benjamin Sesko. So we've got Victor Gyokeres. So basically, Fabrizio Romano reported this morning in regards to Victor Gyokeres. It states it has Victor Gyokeres has already personally informed Sporting president about his decision to leave, no intention to play for the club anymore. Gyokeres wants a new chapter. He feels heartbroken after exit pact and not expected to return to training, as obviously reported. And again, as I said, there's been speculations to suggest that Gyokeres solely wants Arsenal. That's all he wants. He only wants Arsenal. So at the moment, it's one of those things where, so where do we go from here? You know, he's basically, it's kind of like putting all his eggs in one basket. If you ask me, he's basically said, all I want is Arsenal. I don't want anybody else. Arsenal, basically, I'm available. Come and get me. That is basically what Victor Gyokeres is saying. But again, it just comes down to what Arsenal want to do. The speculation is obviously to suggest that Arsenal are still in negotiation with both players in terms of Benjamin Sesko and also Gyokeres as well. So they're still sort of what's the word? They're still negotiating with both players. But I've said it before, up to me, guys. I basically want Gyokeres. He's a proven player. Some people might be like, oh, but that's a risk, bruh. When Manchester City signed Haaland, yes, we knew he was scoring goals at Dortmund at that time, but signing any player is a risk, in my opinion. Signing any player is a risk. So, yes, you can say signing Gyokeres is a risk. He's doing it in the Portuguese league. It's not the same as the Premier League, but then you can also say the same thing. Like Sesko, it's not killing it in the Bundesliga. You know, he's not killing it. I don't know what the stats are, but he's not scoring near enough the same amount of goals as Gyokeres is basically scoring. So if you want to put that argument there, I'll put it basically and say, yeah, I just I don't know. Like, let me know what would you guys basically want to go with, because up to me, as I said, I'm going with Gyokeres. So at the moment, we don't know what's going to happen. We're still linked with both players. It's reported that Andrea Berta is still negotiating with both players, with Gyokeres and also Benjamin Sesko. So it's just a matter of time. I was hoping probably like this week, coming to the end of June, we'll actually have a lot more groundwork and a lot more sort of stability. Not stability, actually, sort of more clearance, like as to what player we're going with, what player we're going for, who we're gonna sign. Maybe it's a case of we've actually agreed terms or fees with the club, because there's speculations to suggest that yes, we've agreed with the player, so terms with players have been agreed. There's no issue there. But then my question is, what about the terms with the club? And I think that's ultimately where the problem is at the moment. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what basically what's going to happen at the moment in regards to that. So we're just basically going to have to wait and see. Is it going to be Victor Gyokeres or is it going to be Benjamin Sesko? Another player, obviously, we all know that we need another winger, possibly left winger. So another player, obviously, that we've been linked with is Rodrigo. So Rodrigo, we're linked with Rodrigo as well. So we've been linked with him now for a while. Obviously, it didn't come out of anywhere, but obviously everybody knows that Arsenal needs a left winger. There was claims to suggest that we wanted Nico Williams. Obviously, we tried to get him last year. That kind of never worked out, which kind of like pissed me off. I'm not gonna lie, but it was because it's always the same thing with Arsenal. You're linked with this player, you're linked with that player, you're chasing this player, you're chasing that player, but ultimately they never get it over the line, and it's very, very frustrating. And as a fan, it's like every summer we're sitting here waiting for something to happen. It's like a kid in a candy store looking at all the options, and ultimately it's like you're never able to get one, and it's just frustrating to say the least. And there's this speculations to suggest that Arsenal are waiting till the end of June before they start either making all their businesses or announcing stuff. someone like a Zubimendi now, for example, we already know that he's signed. Let's be honest, like it's done. That one is done. He was in London a couple of days ago. He's been in London for the past few days. He's done his medical. He's probably done all the press, all the media work and everything. And obviously, he came out the other day that he's going to be wearing the 36 number shirt. So we already know all of this information. And I don't know why it takes Arsenal so long to announce a player, whereas you've got Liverpool, they've already announced two, possibly going to be free by the end of the week with Gyokeres, I think it is, from Bournemouth. Yet Arsenal have not even announced one. Man City's pretty much done half of their business for the summer. They'll probably do the other half after the Club World Cup. And Arsenal are still there because we're trying to do another club a favour in order to keep a good working relationship. This is business, man. This is business. If you want a player, go there, get it over the line, done. Because, mate, listen, in a couple of weeks' time, all these players are going to have to be reporting back to the club for pre-season. So you need to get all these players in. I don't want it to become a case of start of the season and then you're still saying, oh, we still need a left winger, or we still haven't identified this player in this position. It's just every bloody time is frustrating. It's pissing me off. It's frustrating. Get it over the line. Now, obviously, there was a article that came out when it comes to Rodrigo this morning on the Athletic. I'll share it with you guys in a minute. Basically, they're asking the question, what exactly is going on with Rodrigo? Because the other day at the Club World Cup, he played one game and I think he came off at half time. And after the first game, he came off at halftime. He didn't play the second game. And then, obviously, I think he played the last game. I didn't watch it, but I'll have to go back and check that. So, obviously, the Athletic are basically saying, what exactly is going on with Rodrigo at the moment? And that's a very, very good question, in my opinion, because we've all been asking this. Are Arsenal actually going to go for Rodrigo? Is it a case of we're just waiting along the line just to see exactly what's going to happen? So obviously he's rarely been he's been in the headlines for the past recent weeks. Reported here that the 24-year-old obviously started in the Club World Cup against Al Hilal on Wednesday, and he assisted the Madrid only going a 1-1 draw. That was his first appearance being replaced in the first game against and I think nowadays I think he didn't play. He played in the first Club World Cup game and he didn't play in the last couple, so which has obviously now raised questions in regards to what exactly is going to be going on. Because after the Copa del Rey, it says here which Real Madrid lost 3-2 after extra time to, I think, Barcelona it was. The Spanish obviously newspaper suggested that Rodrigo had told Ancelotti at the time and his coaching staff he did not feel strong or in the mood to play before the game. So we don't know exactly what that was all about. And listen, I think with this story, there's a chance that we might be able to get something done when it comes to Rodrigo, in my opinion. Because I think with what's going on with Real Madrid at the moment, I honestly feel we will be able to potentially get this over the line. I honestly do think so. But I think, it's going to be one of those things where it's going to take a long time. It's going to take a long time. It's probably going to be one of those transfers that is going to take up until one of those deadline days. And if we wait, and this is the thing about Arsenal, right? I can see us waiting and waiting and waiting because we're not the only person or the only club that's in for this guy. We are not. There's other teams that would love. I think, like I said, we wanted Nico Williams. Then he made it clear that he only wanted to go to Barcelona. Bayern Munich was also interested in Nico Williams. I'll come on to Bayern Munich in a bit because they're interested in one of our players. And then we had to obviously pivot to Rodrigo, which personally, I wouldn't mind it. But then it's like the speculations to suggest if we get Rodrigo, then we'll have to let one of our best players go. And there was another one where on social media, obviously, meanwhile, Rodrigo responded with a message. Thank you for your messages and concerns. I'll be back soon. I think that was basically after the last game. He said Rodrigo has a fever, and that's not allowed him to perform at his best. And he said at the time today during the training day, he had a discomfort in his leg. I don't know which leg he was not feeling well and did not recover well after the fever. I think this was obviously earlier, and obviously now you can see where since Alonso took over, I remember he posted, this is Rodrigo, by the way, he posted saying that he was happy at Madrid. But listen, players do this. Players do this all the time because there's, I remember, I can't remember what player it was. There was an Aston Villa player, signed a new contract, stayed there one season, and it was gone the next. So contract as worth as the paper that he signed on, if you ask me. So if you really want a player, you'll be able to get the player. Here it reads, Arsenal are prepared, and this is what I'm saying, we're prepared to wait whether are prepared to wait to determine whether Rodrigo is definitely open to leaving or not, and whether Real Madrid are willing to sell. Because let's be honest, we have got a good relationship with Real Madrid from the past, and most recently with Odegaard as well. So hopefully that should, if both parties were hoping to sell, that hopefully shouldn't take too long. So subject to agreeing a transfer fee. And then it says here, Arsenal this summer. So sorry, Rodrigo is one of several wide players who have been under discussion at Arsenal this summer, also including the likes of Newcastle's Anthony Gordon, which personally, that's a hell no for me. And then Nico Williams of Athletic Bilbao, who the Athletic obviously reported that last week he had already agreed personal terms with Barcelona. Rodrigo wants to talk to Alonso and the club before making any decision. And this is the thing, because he's actually come out previously, Rodrigo, that he wants to play on the left. But the problem he's facing is he's got Mbappe there and he's got Vinny playing there as well. And it was very interesting to see, because the last game that he did play for Real Madrid in the Club World Cup, he played on the right and he looked out of place. So he can come to Arsenal and he's a guaranteed start. Just envision for a minute, you're going to have Saka on one wing, Rodrigo on another wing. Most defenders won't even, because Saka used to get doubled up all the time. And to have Saka on one wing and then to have Rodrigo on another wing will potentially leave space open in the middle, because most fullbacks won't even know. They won't be able to double up on Bukayo Saka all the time, because then you can switch it off to Rodrigo. Hypothetically, of course. Anyways, no, Alonso, I'm going to have a conversation with all the players because they deserve it, and we need it, because we have to get to know each other. This is the particular players who's not me to discover. We will need him. That was basically Alonso talking in regards to Rodrigo, because he's new at the club, so he needs to know what the players' mindsets are before he actually, knows who's going to be staying and who potentially is part of his plans going forward, and who's basically not happy and is up for sale. And I honestly think Rodrigo is up for sale, because there's something going on, and this was the post I was saying earlier. On June 10th, after Real Madrid's first session with Alonso in charge, Rodrigo posted a message on social media which simply read "happy" in Spanish. And this was the post. Read into it what you wish. But, as I said, any player is off. So this is business at the end of the day. If you want a player, go and get the player. That's basically what I'm saying. If you want the player, go and get the player. But ultimately, Arsenal keeps dragging their feet and everything else. But let's see how it goes. So I personally think, so that's Rodrigo. And then if we move on to, so if we don't get Rodrigo, who do we then go for? Because there's another name that's also been speculated, and which is Bradley Barcola. But I read today that apparently PSG is basically saying, forget it. He is not for sale. So Fabrizio Romano obviously reported that basically he's untouchable. PSG are not even considering selling Barcola this summer. And I'm not going to lie, because I watched him obviously when he played against us, and I was last season, and I was looking at it, I was thinking, this is a guy that we could do with. And I was just like, Arsenal, get it done. Just get it done. And like I said, this is it. Fabrizio Romano basically saying Paris Saint-Germain have no plans to let Bradley Barcola leave this summer. The management and Luis Enrique all plan with Barcola as part of the squad for next season. So there you go. But again, I've said it and I'll say it again. any player is gettable. If you want the player, you can get him. That's just my opinion. You know, yes, you can basically you can report and say a player is not up for sale and all that stuff, but let's be honest, man. Let's be honest. Any player is gettable if you really want to. That's just my opinion anyway. So that's where we are with Bakola. I would love, basically, mate, listen, a Bakola, I'll take him any day. I'm not even going to be lying. I'll take a Bakola any day. So let's see how that one is. So what's the likelihood of Arsenal potentially going in for Bakola? It's 50-50 because right now, yes, you know, PSG are saying it's part of their plan, but listen, things can change. It's coming towards the end of June now. It's June the 24th, right? It's coming towards the end of June. Any players gettable, any players up for sale. So we still got till the 1st of September before the window closes. So I'm not closing the book on that one at all. At all. And then I'm going to come up to the next one. The surprising link I read, not yesterday, I think it was 2 days ago. Personally, this is a no for me. I'm not going to lie. This is a hell to the no. So another player that we've been linked with, is Noni Madueke of Chelsea. Why is it a case that we keep going to Chelsea to shop? I just don't get it. I don't get it. Every time. Arsenal, you want to shop, you go to Chelsea. Like already we're getting their goalkeeper, what's his face? Kepa. We're going to get Kepa for 5 million. I mean, so long that he knows his place and he knows he's gonna be second choice, I don't mind it. So long that he knows I'm only gonna be second place, I'm playing second fiddle to David Raya, and it doesn't come with all that so-called Chelsea shenanigans that he used to do back in the day before obviously they got rid of him. Or before, I think he went on loan initially to, I think it was Sarri, and he had that situation in the Carabao Cup, I remember. And Sarri was just like, nah. So Sarri got rid of him. And then I think he went on loan to Real Madrid. He came back. He was not part of the plans anymore. And then obviously spent a loan last season at Bournemouth. And now Arsenal apparently activating a 5 million fee for Kepa. It is what it is. But Noni Madueke, would I take him? Is he better than, let's say, Martinelli, for example? No. In my opinion, no. And he predominantly plays on the right. Because when he plays for England as well, he plays on the right. It's usually him, Cole Palmer, or Bukayo Saka on the right for England. So he's not, if he was to come in, he's not playing on the left. He'll be playing on the right. So as far as I'm concerned, no. I don't want a Bakola. Madueke. I don't want a Madueke. So, we've got some transfer news. Let's see how it's. Let's see. Let's see. It's not Arsenal. Never mind. But yeah, back to Noni Madueke. Let me know, guys. What do you guys think? Noni Madueke to Arsenal. What are your thoughts on this speculative transfer? Because personally, he's a good player, but is he an upgrade to what we already have? And for me, the answer is no. For me, the answer is a no. He's not better than what we have. He's not better than Martinelli, in my opinion. He's not better than Trossard on the left at the moment. Yes, we need strength of depth, but like I said already, he predominantly plays on the right. So for me, nah. Let me know what you guys think though. So that's basically, no, that's not it. We got one more. I got one more. Another player that's linked with Arsenal. Jorel Hato of Ajax. He's a left back predominantly, but again, he's quite flexible, just like a lot of our defenders are. He can play left back, he can play right back. Obviously, we know that that's where we signed that's basically where we signed Timber from as well 2 seasons ago. So again, we've got good relationship going way back, way back with Ajax as well. I read a rumor, no, not a rumor. I read an article the other day that apparently his agent was in London speaking with Arsenal representatives in order to try and solidify a move to Arsenal. So let's basically keep an eye on that. Arsenal apparently are trying to get this wrapped up as quickly as possible, because also apparently Chelsea are also interested in signing Hato as well. So I don't know. It's just one of those things. It's just one of those things where I personally would take a Hato. I would actually take him. I'm not even gonna lie. I would take him. I would actually take him at Arsenal. So just bear with me, guys. I would actually. Yeah. I would actually take a Hato in regards to strength in depth, because there's speculations to suggest that Zinni, I'm going to be coming up to the players that might be going out as well of Arsenal. Um, Players that's going to be going out from Arsenal. So Zinni obviously might be going, which then, because Tomiyasu, let's be honest, Tomiyasu needs to go. Tomiyasu needs to go. I'm surprised that they haven't even terminated his contract here, but Tomiyasu definitely need to go. So you got Tomiyasu. Obviously, there's a speculation to suggest that Zinchenko is linked with Fulham and AC Milan at the cost of about £10 million, which I think it's not great, considering I think we bought Zinni for about, is it 25 to 30 mil? And then to now suggest that you're going to be selling him for like 10 mil. And then you've got the Liverpool player going for like 35 in Kwanzaa. He's going to be going for 35 mil. I know he's younger, but come on, man. Come on, seriously, 35 mil? And then Zinchenko is 10 mil? Nah, come on. I don't agree with that. So that's the reason why we're linked with Hato at the moment. So yeah, let's see how it goes. I personally would want that, because as we know, last season, Timber played way too much football, hence the reason why he got injured and he had to have an operation towards the end of the season. The season before that, Benjamin White got injured. He also then had to go for an operation. So all these fullbacks that we have, and obviously Zinni hardly featured last season as well. And then Tomiyasu is non-existent. Calafiori hardly played. That was a waste of £43 million, in my opinion. Because when it came in, I was like, why? And then who's the other fullback? And that's how Miles Lewis Skelly was born. Because obviously all these players got injured, and then Miles Lewis Skelly was born and took his opportunity. But yet, people are saying that we don't need this. We don't need Hato. Why would we not need him? Why would we not need him where you've got all these players? All these players that, I don't know. We need him, in my opinion. We definitely need him. So if we get Hato, I'm down for it. I am not complaining whatsoever. But if we don't get him, it is what it is. And then we basically go from there. So let's see how that one goes. So, and another player that we are linked with, another defender, Mark Gay of Crystal Palace. Now, the speculations to suggest that this guy is going to be going for in the regions of about 60 million to 70 million pounds. Woo! Considering apparently he's only got a year left on his contract. So, unless he signs a new contract, I don't see anybody paying 70 million pounds for Mark Gay. He's a great player. Now you can ask yourself, do we need another defender, another centre back? Yes. You could be like, oh, we got bare defenders already. Yes, we have. But we need strength in depth. If we want to win the league and we want to go far in the Champions League, in my opinion, you need players like this. Saliba played too much. Towards the end of the season, he got injured. Remember the last couple of games he didn't feature. Gabriel, he also then got injured. That's when Kivior had to come in. With those two players out, people are like, oh, but you can put Ben White in the middle, or you can play Kivior, or then you can play Calafiori. Yes, we ended up playing Calafiori and Kivior, two left-footed players. No, like, come on, guys. We need to be doing better. Personally, I personally would take Mark Gay in our defense. If that's basically what we're saying, I'm taking him. I'm taking him because you can rotate. Then that way, Saliba doesn't have to play every game. Gabriel doesn't have to play in a game, every game. Sorry, Kivior, I personally be keeping him because he's proven that he's good and he played well when in the absence of Gabriel. And that's the second time he's done that, by the way, guys. People forget that. That is the second time Kivior, from my memory, has deputized for Gabriel and he's done it well. So, do we need a Mark Gay? You can argue and probably say no. I personally would argue and say yeah, because we keep saying we need strength in depth, and obviously defense is like the base of the team. If you, for example, Saliba comes off injured, having Mark Gay as an option on the bench, wouldn't you be saying, okay, I'm all right with that. I'm all right with that. But then again, on the flip side is, do you or do I really want to be spending up to 60 to 70 million pounds on another centre back? Or do we just maybe plot the seed and do a Real Madrid in a sense where, listen, stay for another season at Palace, do well, and come to Arsenal for free, like Real Madrid have been doing recently, and just go in and sweep him. And like maybe sign a pre-contract in January, for example, or even go back in January and try to get him. That's what I will be doing. Because we keep talking about strength in there. We've got a lot of defenders already. Zini might be going. Tomiyasu should be gone, in my opinion. There might be a possibility, like if Partey goes, which I'll get onto in a minute, then Zubimendi can't be the only number 6. Then is it a case of, do you then maybe move Lewis Kelly to the number 6 as well sometimes? Which then leaves a hole in the left back. Maybe that's the reason why we're linked with Hato as well. So that's kind of like how I'm basically envisioning how things might go. So it's a case of everyone keeps saying, oh, you know, we don't need this. We got too much centre backs. We don't need that, bruh. If we sign a Mark Gay, but I think the price is a bit too much in my opinion. The price is a bit too much. So yeah, let's basically see how that one basically pans out. Right, let's talk about outgoings, because there's been a lot of speculations when it comes to outgoings. So I'll get to that in a minute. The first player that obviously that's been linked with outgoing came out the other day that apparently Bayern Munich have put Martinelli on their radar. Martinelli on their radar. So obviously this came out the other day. I'll try and get it up for you guys now. So obviously that was trending the other day in terms of Martinelli. So Martinelli was basically trending the other day, and it was reported and rumored that apparently Bayern Munich have basically put him on their list, because as I said, we were also going for Nico Williams, and so was Bayern Munich. But obviously Nico Williams has made it basically clear that he wants to go to Barcelona. So now Bayern Munich are pivoting and thinking, can we actually get Martinelli from Arsenal? But I'm just obviously reading now that apparently it's been reported that Martinelli is actually happy at Arsenal and is expected to stay. But if an attractive buyer do come for Martinelli at an appropriate price, Arsenal might actually consider selling Martinelli, which will be a massive surprise to me personally, because we keep talking about strength in depth, right? We keep talking about strength in depth, but yet we want to sell Martinelli. It's not the Martinelli of about 2 to 3 seasons ago, where he literally teared it up. That first season, I think we challenged for the league title. It's not the Martinelli of the old, I get it, but it's still a solid, and I say a solid option to have on the bench. If you think about it, you ask anybody how many people potentially would take Martinelli on their team. Ask a United fan. Ask a United fan, would they take a Martinelli on their team compared to what they basically have now? So we look at it, and this is what I was saying before. So this is the speculation. Gabriel Martinelli is content at Arsenal, and the club obviously anticipate he will remain. However, a compelling offer from a suitable buyer at the right price could prompt Arsenal to reconsider their stance. So obviously he's at Arsenal, and Bayern Munich are the club that are currently in for him at the moment. Let me know what you guys think, because ultimately, because I know like last season myself, I was one of those people that was saying that Martinelli, I'm not going to lie, me and one of my friends, we kept saying that Martinelli shit, he can't finish, he can't dribble. Martinelli can't dribble. Let's be honest. I'll say facts. Martinelli can't dribble, he can't do step overs to save his life. And there are obviously times when you just basically think, Martinelli, just take on your player. Because Henry said it last year. There's times when you have the ball, just use your pace, your God-given gift and what you're best at, just pace it. But what does he do? He doesn't do it. He tries to cut back and then it obviously plays back towards the defenders. But the speculations is obviously, I'm one of those people, I'm the one in the camp to say basically, you know what? I'll keep Martinelli. If I was to choose, keep Martinelli, sell Trossard and get Rodrigo. If you have Martinelli and Rodrigo on the left, that's pace to burn. Guys, just think about it for a minute, right? Martinelli and Rodrigo as an option on the left. Are you serious? You're telling me you wouldn't be happy with that? You're telling me you would not be happy with that? Like, on a serious note, who would not be happy with that? Martinelli and Rodrigo. Just think about that for a minute. You know, so yeah, I'm one of those people, like I said, and like, mate, listen, you look at stuff like this, yeah, for example, and just, I'm going to play you guys a little clip on some here. Just look at this, for example, yeah. You're telling me a Martinelli, like, just look at this, was against Sporting. I mean, I remember he didn't really finish off this chance. I don't think he scored the chance because he took it too far, and then obviously they came back, yeah, I remember. But a clinical Martinelli would have easily finished that. And a Martinelli of 2 to 3 seasons ago would have finished that. But you're telling me, if you still have a potential of a player like this in your club, you would sell him. Come on. Let's be honest. You're not selling him. You are not selling him. So the fact that we keep saying, oh, get rid of Martinelli, he's going to be going, oh, no, he's not the guy. I don't know, man. I'm not in for that, personally. So Martinelli is linked with a move away from Arsenal, and another player that I think is going to be a detriment to Arsenal personally is Thomas Partey. I said this before. So is it a case of we move Miles Lewis-Skelly to the middle? Because if Partey goes, oh my God. I'm not in the camp of selling Thomas Partey. I'm not in the camp. I mean, they're not going to sell him. He's just going to go for free, isn't he? So it's just going to go for free. So it's one of those things where if Partey goes, I think we're screwed. I'm of the opinion that we're screwed if Partey goes, but I'm hoping that he doesn't. Obviously, we're now in the month or in the last week where players' contracts start coming to an end, because a lot of players are in the last literally week of their contract, comes to an end at the end of August, which is next Monday. But there's rumors to suggest that Partey is still going to have a conversation with Arteta. I think he's currently away in Africa at the moment, Thomas Partey. So there's speculations to suggest that he's going to have another round of discussion with Arteta to try and come to an agreement. To basically try and come up with an agreement to see if they can, get Thomas Partey to sign. Because I think Thomas Partey basically either wants more salary or wants more years, but Arsenal are only willing to offer him 1 more year plus an option of 1 more year. But I don't know what this speculation of the salary that Partey wants is. I really don't know. So and I think that's basically the sticking point at the moment. Yeah, it's something to basically to look out for. I'm of the opinion that Thomas Partey needs to stay and Arsenal need to do whatever it takes to actually keep him on, because I think if Thomas Partey goes, Zubimendi comes in. We already know Zubimendi is coming in, so that one goes without saying. But I just believe that if Partey goes, we're going to miss him a lot. We're going to miss him a lot because Zubimendi, in my opinion, is kind of replacing Xhaka. And we're talking almost 3 years now. So, yeah, almost 3 seasons ago. Because Declan has been with us, for 2 years? And Xhaka went the season before. So, Zubimendi is kind of like replacing Xhaka. So, who's replacing Partey? Because it's not Rice. Rice is his own player, in my opinion. Box to box. But there's rumours to suggest that we're in for other players as well, but we just have to basically see how that one is going. But yeah, Thomas Partey potentially might be leaving Arsenal. So that's basically something to look out for, guys. Yeah, so that is basically the majority of Arsenal's transfer rumours this week or today. Let me know in the comments if you're watching this live or if you're watching it back. Do you agree with anything I said? What would you guys do differently? Let me know in terms of Arsenal and all that good stuff. So I'm just trying to read to see if there's any more news that's coming out in regards to Arsenal. Yes, Thomas Partey to hold talks with Arteta this week to discuss the future. So we'll see how that one pans out. See any breaking news? No, not for Arsenal at the moment. But I do reckon if we do get Rodrigo over the line, that will be our signing of the season, 100%. That will probably be the signing of the summer. I don't know if it will trump. It won't trump Liverpool's Verts, 100%. No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't go as far as saying that. I think right now, Florian Wirtz is probably the signing of the summer so far. Would it trump it? It will come close to it, but I think what will trump it, I'm not gonna lie, another player that I didn't really talk on is Isak. See, if Arsenal was bad enough, if Arsenal if you're bad, go and get Isak. I swear to God, go and get Isak here. Bro, I swear, now that would be the biggest signing. That would be a statement signing. If Arsenal can get Isak over the line, because listen, I've heard that, Newcastle's hierarchy could potentially sell Isak, but I know that Eddie Howe ain't on it, apparently. Eddie Howe ain't on it. But if Arsenal really, really wanted to, they can go and get Isak, you know. I reckon they can go and get Isak. So, yeah. It's one of those things where, again, as I say, you're just going to have to wait and see. It's going to be a long summer for us, guys. It's going to be a long summer. But listen, if you're new around here, as per usual, don't forget to hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Follow me on Instagram, Mr. Gooner, as well. I'm going to be doing lives across the week, the months, the season, you name it. I'm going to be doing another live later on tonight for the Club World Cup, so make sure you tune in. You tune in for that. Breaking news: Zubimendi is in London again. 5 days in a row. It's reported that he's still trying to get his socks on. But listen, I'm gonna get out of here. Get on with my day. See what comes up. Anything that comes up. Listen, you can follow me on TikTok. I'm on TikTok. I'm on Instagram. I'm on, obviously, YouTube, Mr. Gooner. Search it. I'll be there. I do lives on TikTok, lives on Instagram, lives on YouTube as well. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Yeah. It's good speaking to you guys. Hope you guys have a good day. If you're around, check me out later on for the Club World Cup Benfica against Bayern Munich later on tonight. We do a live watch along as well. So yeah. Until then, peace out.